This is from Edwin. Edwin, thank you for this. So I saw this. This concerns Pete Buttigieg, who is not for Medicare for all. We know that Pete Buttigieg is against Medicare for all. That's pretty much clear. I know people like to pretend that they're for universal health care. It's like, if you're not for some type of single payer system, you're not for universal. You're just not. You're just not. Andrew Yang is not for Medicare for all. He just isn't. And he finally admitted that. And he's like, in principle, I like it. I think everyone should have healthcare, but he's not for Medicare for all. Pete Buttigieg is not for Medicare for all. It's apparent. Joe Biden, not for Medicare for all. Liz Warren, it depends on the day. It depends on the day if Liz Warren is for Medicare for all. Cory Booker, they're saying Cory Booker is. But Cory Booker also stabbed Bernie's drug bill in the back. So can you trust that guy? I mean, really, the only candidates that are for actual single-payer healthcare is Bernie Sanders, the author of Medicare for All, and Tulsi Gabbard, who has another version of single-payer. I like Bernie's plan better based on everything I know so far. I like Bernie's plan better. But, you know, single-payer is single-payer. Those are the only two who actually stand by single-payer. And then, again, Liz Warren, it depends on the week. So, you know, 2, maybe 3, maybe. Yeah, just roll the dice, see what happens. And she can't describe it. Liz Warren can't describe Medicare for all. She can't talk about it. She says it's an abstract idea when it's actually a policy, a piece of policy that's written, and a piece of policy that says how it's going to be paid for. But anyway. All right. So here's Pete Buttigieg. He's questioned about the role in Blue Cross layoffs, where Buttigieg deflects with a dishonest attack on Medicare for all. This is from Jake Johnson over at Common Dreams. So he was asked a question about the potential role in his work as a McKinsey & Company consultant played in massive layoffs that shook Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan in 2007. South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg deflected Tuesday night by accusing Medicare for All supporters of being the real job killers and attacked progressives condemned as incredibly dishonest and depraved. So here's his quote. I don't know what happened in the time after I left. That was in 2007 when they decided to shrink in 2009. Now, what I do know is there are some voices in the Democratic primary right now who are calling for a policy that would eliminate the job of every single American working at every single insurance company in the country. This is what the Republicans were saying in 2008. When Barack Obama got elected president. Barack Obama, who, by the way, by the time he got elected, was not for single payer. The only person in the 2008 election, to my knowledge, that was actually for single payer is Dennis Kucinich. Maybe somebody else in that original group was too. I don't recall, but I know that the main front runners, Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, neither of them were for single payer, because that's a big reason why in the primary I was supporting Dennis Kucinich. So when Barack Obama got elected, they used that argument that, oh, you know, we have about 1/6 of the American economy that works in the health insurance industry, so we can't go to something like a single payer. It will disrupt the apple cart too much. And, you know, if you recall back then, public opinion was not at single payer yet either overall. At least I would say so. Most people wanted this sort of baby step approach to get there. A lot of people were talking about the public option. We ended up getting Mitt Romney's healthcare without a public option. We all know what happened. So Pete Buttigieg is using right-wing talking points from 2008 as a way to deflect from the question he was asked, first of all, and a way to also crap on Medicare for all. It's going to take it doesn't matter that thousands and thousands of people die without healthcare every year. This gives people jobs. This industry of death gives people jobs. Really? Really? First of all, if we do have a full single payer system, you don't think that's going to create jobs? It is. It's going to create jobs because the Affordable Care Act has also created additional jobs for people. That baby step. So everybody who's saying, well, it needs to be gradual. We had your gradual approach. Our baby step was Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, or Romney Care, whatever you want to call it. That was your baby step. That was the baby step away from absolutely nothing, which was what we had first. We had the baby step. It's a different system now. So now it's time for single payer. It's time for Medicare for all. It is time. Medicare for all, full stop. You had your baby step. So whenever you see any politician, Democrat, Republican, doesn't matter, argue about gradual incrementalism, we already had that. It's over. Now's the time. Now you're just BSing. Now you're just not willing to say you don't want universal health care because your donors don't want it, because Big Pharma doesn't want it, because it disrupts their apple cart. There's no in between. It doesn't matter what John Delaney tweets to his 10 followers. It doesn't matter what Pete Buttigieg says, what right-wing talking point he uses from over 10 years ago. It doesn't matter what Joe Biden says when he talks about being a lifeguard and hair on his legs in between giving Barack Obama a tongue bath and then forgetting what states he's in, because that's all Joe Biden does at this point. And then he brings John Kerry with him so they can have a true cavalcade of losers. John Kerry lost to George W. Bush. You lose to George W. Bush, and you don't just leave politics and do something else with your life. I mean, if I was John, how do you not just be like, I'm in the wrong line of work. I lost to George W. Bush. John Kerry. Now he's endorsing Joe Biden. So they can have a true loser apple cart. Maybe that's why he's endorsing Joe Biden. Maybe he's like, man, I feel so bad because I lost to George W. Bush. I need somebody else. I mean, Hillary and I don't hang out enough. I need another shame bro. I need another shame bro in Joe Biden. So when Joe Biden gets crushed by Trump, I can have someone else to say, hey, aren't we pathetic? Aren't we just bought and sold blank suits? So if you're not for single payer, you're not for getting everyone healthcare. You're just not. It doesn't matter what they say. It's full stop. We had the baby step. The baby step's over now. And here's Pete Buttigieg using right-wing talking points from over 10 years ago. Wow. Wow.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your news on with Ron.